Let's see if we can get this to go on. It is. That seems good. Which means I should be able to push this. Which means I can do that. And I can click go live. And that will work. And then I can go here and click this. Nope, that's not what we want. Let's try again. Go here. Let's see. Hi. Still trying to get this loaded up here. Let's see if that'll work better. It seems like it does. That's cool. All right. Why is this not? Well, that's better. Okay. So I need to try and get a new reel made. So let's see if we can get this working. And I don't think we're going to worry about making it too amazing. We're just going to see if we can get it working. That's going to be the key. I think this is going to be it. So we're going to go like this. Well, let's see.
Reason your brain doesn't leave you alone, and this is how to change it. Odds are your brain is always pulling you into the past, making you feel judged or guilty or ashamed, or into the future and just giving you tons of anxiety.
Let's see if this works here.
There's a reason your brain doesn't leave you alone, and this is how to change it. Odds are your brain is always pulling you into the past, making you feel judged or guilty or ashamed, or into the future and just giving you tons of anxiety. Why would a brain do this? A touchdown, like in American football, is only worth something because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting there. Otherwise, you're just a dude or person standing in a field with football. Not the same vibe. So, your brain is the defense. Sometimes they're going to knock you down, sometimes it's going to knock the wind out of you, sometimes you're going to need on the sideline. Them trying to stop you, your brain trying to stop you, is what makes the touchdown peace of mind feel like something, feel like as good as it does. There's a reason your brain doesn't leave you alone. So there's a reason your brain doesn't leave you alone, and once you know this, it'll kind of change everything. Your brain most likely likes to go into the past and find ways to make you feel guilt or shame or judgment, or it goes into the future and starts giving you anxiety or like fear or worry about what's coming up. Why would it do this? What is the purpose of ever doing this? How is it ever useful? Here's the thing. A touchdown, like in American football, a touchdown only means something because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting there. Otherwise, you're just standing in a field with a football. The fact that they're trying to stop you is what makes the touchdown feel like something. So your brain is the defense. They're the ones that make the touchdown, peace of mind, feel like anything at all. So sometimes they're going to knock you down, sometimes they're going to knock the wind out of you. You may need to sit on the sidelines for a little bit, but they're going to make that touchdown feel so much better once you get there. So the next time your brain starts beating you up, you can just know, oh, this is what the game is, and actually, I want them to do as good as they can so that the touchdown feels that much sweeter when I make it to the end zone, because I'm gonna. I hope this helps. So there's a reason your brain doesn't leave you alone, and once you know this, it'll kind of change everything. Your brain most likely likes to go into the past and find ways to make you feel guilt or shame or judgment, or it goes into the future. So there's a reason your brain doesn't leave you alone, and once you 50-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting there. Otherwise, you're just standing in a field with a football. The fact that they're trying to stop you is the reason your brain doesn't leave you alone, and this is how to change it. Odds are your brain is always pulling you into the past, making you feel judged or guilty or ashamed, or into the future and just giving you tons of anxiety. Why would a brain do this? A touchdown, like in American football, is only worth something because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting there. Otherwise, you're just... Okay, so I figured out why brains always want to zip us off in these bad areas. There's a reason your brain doesn't leave you. So there's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's gonna kind of change everything. So odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past and like find ways to like judge you or make you feel guilt or shame about things that have already happened. Or it will run off into the future and make you feel anxiety or worry or fear about things that may be coming up. It's totally normal. But why would it do this? What purpose does this ever actually solve? It like never does anything useful. In football, like American football, the only reason a touchdown matters is because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting into the end zone. Otherwise, you're just standing in a... There's a reason your brain doesn't leave you alone, and once you know this, it's going to change, well, basically everything. So odds are your brain likes to travel back into the past and find ways to make you feel guilty or judgment or shame about things that have happened already. Or it goes off into the future and tries to make you feel anxiety or worry or fear about what may be coming up. Why would it do this? What is the potential? This is never is beneficial at all. So in football, like American football, the only thing that makes a touchdown worthwhile that feel like something is because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting there. Otherwise, you're just standing in a field with a football. Not the same vibe. Your brain is the defense. And frankly, you want a good defense because that's what makes a touchdown feel like something, feel so good, is because those dudes are trying to work as hard as they can to stop you from getting there. And they're going to knock you down. They're going to knock the wind out of you. Sometimes they're going to hit you so hard you're going to have to spend some time on the sidelines to catch your breath. But you know that when you get to that end zone, when you get to that touchdown, you have that sense of accomplishment and it feels so good because the defense was so good trying to stop you from getting there. So the next time this happens and your brain starts to pick on you, you know that this is just the defense doing its best job, and you know that it will make the touchdown when you get there, because you will, feel as good as it does. So you can just look at them and go, bring it on. There's a reason your brain doesn't leave you alone, and once you know this, it's going to change, well, basically everything. So odds are your brain likes to travel back in. So there's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. So odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past and like find ways to like judge you or make you feel guilt or shame about things that have already happened. Or it will run off into the future and make you feel anxiety or worry or fear about things that may be coming up. It's totally normal. But why would it do this? What purpose does this ever actually solve? It like never does anything useful. In football, like American football, the only reason a touchdown matters is because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting into the end zone. Otherwise, you're just standing in a field with a football. Your brain is the defense. So they might knock you down, they might knock the wind out of you, they might. So there's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. So odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past and like find ways to like judge you or make you feel guilt or shame about. There's a reason your brain doesn't leave you alone, and once you know this, it's going to change, well, basically everything. So there's a reason your brain will. So there's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's. So there's. So there's. So there's. So there's a reason you're. So there's. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. So odds are your. So odds. Everything. So odds are your. Odds are your. So. So. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past and like find ways to like judge you or make you feel guilt or shame about things that have already happened. Or it will run off into the future and make you feel anxiety or worry or fear about things that may be coming up. It's totally normal. But why would it do this? What purpose does this ever actually solve? It like never does anything useful. In football, like American football, the only reason a touchdown matters is because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting into the end zone. So there's a reason your brain doesn't leave you alone, and once you know this, it'll kind of change everything. Your brain most likely likes to go into the past and find ways to make you feel guilt or shame or judgment, or it goes into the future and starts giving you anxiety or like fear or worry about what's coming up. Why would it do this? What is the purpose of ever doing this? How is it ever useful? Here's the thing. A touchdown, like in American football, a touchdown only means something because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting there. Bring it on. Into the end zone. Otherwise, you're just pound dudes trying to stop you from getting into the end zone. Otherwise, you're just standing in a field with a football. The only reason a touchdown matters is like American football, anything useful. In football, like solve, it like never does anything useful. Ever actually solve, it like never does anything useful. In football, like American football, otherwise, you feel like something. You're just standing you from getting there. The fact that they're trying to stop you 150-pound dudes because there's 11 50-pound dudes. Touchdown only means something. In football, a touchdown only touchdown, like in America. A touchdown, like in American football, a touchdown only means something. Purpose does this ever actually solve? It like never does anything useful. A touch solve. It like never does anything useful. Solve. It like never does anything useful. A touchdown, like in American football. Useful. Here's the thing. A touchdown, it like never does anything useful. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. A touchdown, like in American football, a touchdown only means something because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting there. Otherwise, you're just standing in a field with a football. The fact that they're trying to stop you is what makes the touchdown feel like something. So your brain is the defense. They're the ones that make the touchdown, peace of mind, feel like anything at all. So sometimes they're going to knock you down. Sometimes they're going to knock the wind out of you. You may need to sit on the sidelines for a little bit. But they're going to make that touchdown feel so much better once you get there. So the next time your brain starts beating you up, you can just know, oh, this is what the game is. And actually, I want them to do as good as they can so that the touchdown feels that much sweeter when I make it to the end zone. Because I'm gonna. I hope this helps. Much sweeter when I make it to the end zone, because I'm gonna. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's gonna kind of change everything. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's gonna kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the
Let's see if we can get this going here.
There's a reason your brain won't leave. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past and like find ways. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel. It's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past and like find ways to like judge you or make you feel guilt or shame about things that have already happened. Or it will run off into the future and make you feel anxiety or worry or fear about things that may be coming up. It's totally normal. But why would it do this? What purpose does this ever actually solve? It like never does anything useful. Here's the thing. A touchdown, like in American football, here's the thing. A touchdown, like in American football, a touchdown only means something because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting there. Otherwise, you're just standing in a field of football. The fact that they're trying to stop you is what makes the touchdown feel like something. So your brain is the defense. They're the ones that make the touchdown, peace of mind, feel like anything at all. So sometimes they're going to knock you down, sometimes they're going to knock the wind out of you. You may need to sit on the sidelines for a little bit. But they're going to make that touchdown feel so much better once you get there. So the next time your brain starts beating you up, you can just know, oh, this is what the game is. And actually, I want them to do as good as they can so that the touchdown feels that much sweeter when I make it to the end zone. Because I'm going to. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past and like.
Let me see what this sounds like just as normal audio.
There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the. Odds are.
That's annoying.
Reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just. Here's the thing. A touchdown, like in American football. The reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past and change everything. Odds are.
Oops.
Kind of change everything. Odds are your. Everything. Everything. Odds are your. And once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just.
Why are these pops happening?
Odds are your brain will always just. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back. The reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just. Odds are. Odds are your. Odds are. Everything. Odds are. Everything. Odds are. Change everything. Odds are your brain will. Thing. Odds are. Thing. Odds are.
These pops are terrible.
Reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past and like find ways to like judge you.
Replace. Style. Pick a style.
There's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the past and like find ways to like judge you or make you feel guilt or shame about things that have already happened. Or it will run off into the future and make you feel anxiety or worry or fear about things that may be coming up. It's totally normal. But why would it do this? What purpose does this ever actually solve? It like never does anything useful. Here's the thing. A touchdown, like in American football, a touchdown only means something because there's 11 250-pound dudes trying to stop you from getting there. Otherwise, you're just standing in a field with a football. The fact that they're trying to stop you is what makes the touchdown feel like something. So your brain is the defense. They're the ones that make the touchdown, peace of mind, feel like anything at all. So sometimes they're going to knock you down. Sometimes they're going to knock the wind out of you. You may need to sit on the sidelines for a little bit. But they're going to make that touchdown feel so much better once you get there. So the next time your brain starts beating you up, you can just know, oh, this is what the game is. And actually, I want them to do as good as they can so that the touchdown feels that much sweeter when I make it to the end zone. Because I'm gonna.
Hi. I'm working on editing a reel for Instagram. No, I mean, well, it's weird. It kind of is, and also not. It just is. It's just another thing. What are you doing? Sounds like you're driving. Oh, I see. Okay. Sure. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, well, I like that. It's always good when it's a non crisis. Yeah, no, things are going okay here. I just got done with. I got back from my salsa class tonight. I don't know if I told you I've been take. Yeah, I've been. It's at this place in Hollywood, and I did it because, frankly, it was terrifying. And I had it on one of my goal lists, and so this was it's like the 5th week of a 6-week class, but I kind of messed it up a little bit because I ended up, I decided late Friday night that I was gonna just run a marathon Saturday. I just thought, I was like, I think I can do that. Yeah. So I did end up doing, no, I don't run actually ever. I hate cardio. 26.2, but yeah. And I was like, no, it's okay. But well, I didn't know what it was. I had to look it up. But I was like, I think, well, someone was like, I don't think you can. Someone was talking about like the idea of being able to do it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure most people could do it. It's just a matter of timing. And well, no, but I think, well, so here's the thing. So technically, I didn't run 26.2 miles. I think I got about 10 miles, and that was, and then that was really painful. And so then I had to walk 16 miles, and the walking part turned into more like hobbling. Like by the end, I think my feet were doing about like 3 inches at a time. I'm not even kidding. I don't know, just my tennis shoes. So that was tonight. Well, at first, what's funny is, the run was actually really painful. And I'm like super uncomfortable and really wearing, and I'm like, oh no. I let my phone die because I knew, so the last 3 or 4 hours of the thing, I didn't have a phone or anything, but I knew if I had a phone, I'd be tempted to like call an Uber or just do whatever to, and I was like, nope, we're not gonna do that. So it was just like, if you wanna get back to your car, you're just gonna have to make it there, What I didn't realize is how much it would hurt after. I couldn't get down like into my bed or out of my bed or up and out of chairs. It was like, it hurt so bad. It was worse than when I was moving. I don't know. Well, I thought in some ways that running 26 miles might actually loosen me up more for the salsa dancing thing. Because everyone keeps saying it's like, you need to move your hips. You need to like loosen your hips. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, there's never a part of like the straight white male manual where they're like, move your butt around more. They don't really teach you how to do that. Do you know what's funny? By the time, so I was able to kind of function better by the class came around today. I still had problems getting up this morning, like getting up and down. By the time the class came around, I was relatively loose enough. And my knees definitely hurt in class. I do feel like the mechanics of moving, I do feel like I moved a little better. I'm not gonna lie. I do feel like I was loosened up a little bit in some ways. So, not sure that I would recommend that generally, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure that was just something that happened. But tell me about you. How was your weekend? What's going on with life? Vibes. Okay. Okay. Sometimes being sad is important. Yeah. 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 That's kind of one of the things, so this reel I'm working on making is, well, it's basically this idea. I figured this out. For me, it made sense to me and was helpful a few months ago in therapy. And you may like this idea or you may think it's really stupid. So let's find out together. But basically, I figured out why my brain beats me up all the time and picks on me and won't leave me alone. Like, there's actually a productive purpose. Because I was like, at first I was like, there's nothing, it's not like it's ever useful where like it will like take me backwards into the past and I'm like really like full of like, I judge myself and I'm full of guilt or shame and it feels bad, or it runs into the future and then I'm filled with anxiety or fear or worry. And I'm like, this never is useful at all. Like, why, on a biological level, why would this ever be happening? Like, I don't understand why my brain would develop this as a habit, you know? And then it occurred to me, because I was like, what feels good? Like, sometimes when my brain, I can just be present and accept everything as it is, and I don't run to either the forward or the past, the future or the past. And it's like all of a sudden, sometimes every once in a while, I'll have this moment where it's like, I just feel perfectly like at home and like peaceful. And it's like, oh my God, this feeling is good. And I was talking to my therapist about it, and it occurred to me, have I told you this idea before? I don't know if you've ever watched football ever, like American football. It could be any sport probably. But with football, basically the only reason a touchdown is significant, and that's when like, you know, a team they score, they get the ball into the end zone. Okay, the only reason a touchdown is important or means anything is because there's 11 250-pound dudes doing everything they can to stop you from getting there. Like, they're basically trying to kill you to keep you from getting to the end zone. Otherwise, if the 11 250-pound dudes aren't there, you're basically just a dude standing in a field with a ball. Like, and I guess that's also kind of nice. But the feeling of like, of amazingness is only because you had to get through 11 250-pound dudes who are trying to hurt you, like to stop you from getting there. And so like your brain is the defense. When it's doing stuff, it's basically the only reason that home space, that paradise where it's like when you feel like that perfectly calm and like sense of home, the only reason that feels like anything, or at least at the level that it does, is because you had to get through 11 250-pound dudes that are like kind of beating the shit out of you, and like sometimes you get speared by a linebacker and you get the wind knocked out of you, and sometimes you have to go sit on the sideline for a little bit because you're kind of getting your butt kicked. But it's what makes the touchdown feel so good. And like also, so when you're playing a team sport or any type of sport, if you play a bad team, it's kind of not that much fun to win those games. Like if it's a shitty team, it's kind of like, okay, like it's nice to get a lot of points, but it's not the same feeling. You want to play a good team. Like, and obviously you still want to win, but you want to play as strong of a team as possible because that's what makes the win feel like something. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason our brains do this stuff. It's to make the touchdown. It's so when we do win, because we always make it back home eventually. Once we get to the end zone, it makes it feel that much sweeter. And so then, go ahead. And so here's the thing. Anytime your brain starts picking on you, you can just know that this is the defense and this is the game. And realistically, you want the defense to do their best, because the better the defense does, it means when you get to the touchdown, it will feel that much better. Okay. I'm still figuring out how to communicate it, so I appreciate you letting me try again. Cool. Excellent. It fits okay? Okay. Oh, that makes me so happy. Hi, Ruby. Oh, I mean, I don't know that it needs to be seen. I've actually been trying to do less t-shirts because I found that like in my good days, apparently on my favorite days, dress so you like yourself is a little bit higher up, and so I've been trying to dress a little bit nicer and make an effort. And so, I don't know, I mean, the thing is, it's a very comfy shirt, and so maybe that'll just be your comfy shirt. It's totally up to you. It is, like, I know it's definitely a comfy shirt, so you can at least, hell yeah. 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 Okay, good, that makes me happy. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of thought I could... Yeah. Well, if you just shut your phone off and then we're like, and your car was, you know, miles away, I think you'd probably... Yeah. The walking, it was really bad. I'm not gonna lie. It was, I kind of just decided at a certain point, we're like, well, we're doing this. So, yeah, I just took the path. I just basically did the strand, that path that goes along the beach. From like Will Rogers down to like Marina Del Rey and past there. What's so funny? No, I just ran 26.2 miles. Why is that funny? Yeah. No, it was miserable. There was no one else. Cause also, then there'd be people. The worst part about it, this is the worst part about it, is especially probably after mile 10 or 15 or especially mile 20, I know I looked worse and worse. Like it was, and like I'm around a lot of people, and so like I'm just like bedraggled and sunburnt and worn out, and like my feet, I'm really shuffling like 3 or 4 inches at a time each footstep because I hurt so bad. And then there's other people that are out jogging, and it's like 2 or 3 p.m. for them, and they're out just like tearing down the track because they're probably like running a mile or two, and they're doing their afternoon jog. And then like I'm barely shuffling down this path, just like no one else was, and there's no way for me to explain. And I guess it doesn't really matter, but like sometimes people would blow by me, and I could see them kind of looking at me like, "Is he okay?" And I wanted to be like, "This is my 20th mile" or something, and no one knew. No one knew or cared. Wait, what? What do you not like? No, no. Yeah, I'm probably never going to do it again. So, I think doing it once, that's fine. No, I stopped at 2 Ralphs on the way. I brought 2 bananas. I ate them before I started running. And then I got a Gatorade at one of the Ralphs. And I think maybe another banana. And then at the second Ralph's, I was like, I think I'm running out of fuel. Like, this is not doing it for me. And so then I was like, what is the most immediate dose of sugar I can get? And so I got another Gatorade, and then I got 2 Krispy Kreme donuts. And then I started, but it did give me the sugar I needed. Well, because I think that's all I was doing is burning sugar. And so then I stopped at some like soda cart along the way and got 1 more Gatorade, and that's all I had. Oh, I got 1 water at one of the pavilions. Oh, they had water fountains. Like, they have water fountains along the beach, so I'd stop and get one. Yeah, sometimes they weren't very good water fountains, but it was fine. A little bit, yeah. It was kind of hard to do anything. It was really hard to do it. Well, I lost a couple pounds that day, but I ate a lot the next day. But it was hard. This is the thing. It was hard to move. Like, by the time I got into my house, there was a bit too where so I fell down into my bed because that was the only way to get down into my bed. And then I realized I slept for probably 2 or 3 hours. And I woke up probably at 9 or 10 p.m. at night. And then it took me, I shit you not, it took me probably 30 or 40 minutes to get out of my bed. And I was trying to consider, because I had to go to the bathroom and I needed water. I was dying of thirst and I needed to go to the bathroom. And I was kind of considering, it was so bad that I was maybe I should just pee in my bed. And I'll just get a new bed or something. Because it was I can't get up. I could not. Well, the thing is, it hurt so bad, I couldn't even turn my legs from one side to the other. You know, if you flip over in bed and you turn from one side to the other, I couldn't turn my legs over. I couldn't turn my legs. They hurt that bad. And so then like trying to get up to go to the bathroom, I'm like, this isn't gonna work. I'm not gonna be able to do this. But I did. So after like 30 or 45 minutes, I was able to like get over to a chair that was near my bed and get to the chair. And then another like 10 to 15 minutes, I was able to stand up. Well, then even today, it took 2 days. Today's Monday. Monday. It took until today. It's been difficult. The hardest part, what I found that has hurt after the time, was like the inside of my thighs hurt more than anything. And so the hardest thing was like either doing steps or trying to put on pants. You don't have to like pick your foot up to put them in like a pant sleeve. I couldn't pick my feet up. And so then I was having to balance and just picking up my leg with my hand because I couldn't lift my leg. Anyway, but you know, you figure it out. I didn't think about, I realized about like a third of the way into the thing, I was like, I probably should have stretched or something. Actually, so the best part, one of the best parts, and I haven't really told anyone else this that much, but I also didn't sleep the night before. So that was a whole other thing. I kind of pulled an all-nighter. So which programs are you in? Like, are you just in Allen? Okay, I basically just, I'm not trying to like trip you up by any means. So I basically just did a real good sized dosage of acid the night before. And so had and I do that every once in a while. Not very often, but every once in a while it just seems necessary. I find it useful. Yeah, a little blot, yeah, little 10. So I did 3 tabs. Yeah. I decided, no, I think right before I took it, I think I decided, I was like, I think I might run a marathon tomorrow. Well, yeah. But the marathon was really secondary. The trip was the first part, and then it kind of was a thing. Well, this is what it came down to. I think there's this part where I only had like 40 days left until I set these goals for myself that are due on August 6th, and so it's coming away, and it was like 40 days away, and frankly, it's not going very well. Like some parts of it are going okay, but a lot of it isn't as good as I want. And I was really frustrated, and I'm like, Justin, we need to shake things up a little bit. And so part of that was doing acid. And it's like, maybe we just need to like focus things a little bit. And then a part of it too is it's like, maybe this whole marathon thing, someone had talked about it and was like, kind of, I don't know, one of my friends was mentioning it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that I could do that. Like, we were just talking about marathons in general. And then I thought, you know what, Justin, maybe this is another good way to shake things up. Let's just see if you can do this. Like, how are you going to be able to do, like, how are you going to be able to do your goals if you can't just run 26 miles? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Then you don't deserve it. Yeah, yeah. I guess. I mean, I think I kind of like agree with him. Because there's a certain bit where I'm like, are we like, kind of like, put your money where your mouth is. Like, stop, is this important or not? At the end of the day, like, and also it still hasn't made a lick of difference in terms of what my goals are, but there was a thing where like, it was nice going through something miserable on Saturday and knowing I could get through it and wouldn't stop. Well, I did, like I said, I let my phone die, so there was no way. I guess I could have bothered someone in an emergency and just stopped someone with a cell phone. But it was like, no, if you want to make it back to your car, you have to finish. And so I did. And I think for these goals coming due on August 6th, it's like, I think I want to paint myself into a corner. And it's like, then you're just going to have to fucking do it. They're so stupid. So the biggest, most important one is that app that I have. The goal was I wanted to have a paid version of it out. So that exists. There is a paid version of it out. And I also wanted to have 1 million users and product market fit. And product market fit just basically means, it's like a tech term that basically just means anyone that comes to the app through any source, whether they just find it on Google or whatever else, or from friend referral, that after a month's worth of time, after 4 weeks, a third of the people are still coming back to the app. So a third of the people find it valuable. Right now, so it needs to be at 30%. I'm only at 17% at week 4. So that means only 17% out of all the people come back after 4 weeks. So that's still low. And in terms of 1 million users, this one's way worse. In terms of 1 million users right now, hang on, as of a couple weeks ago, no, as of last week, I was at 160, I'm at 164 users. So I'm 999,000, like 800 and some short. That one's like incredibly bad. So that's the biggest. I don't know if you've heard of Brian Tracy or Eat That Frog method, but basically I set all these goals. That was the biggest. You basically pick the biggest one that will have, if you do it, will have the biggest positive impact on your life. So that's what I picked as my like #1 goal. And yeah, right now that one's kicking my ass, like way bad. Just like either telling people, or some people find it off of me making these Instagram reels or live streaming stuff. So I just live stream. I literally will live stream myself making breakfast and working on the app and all kinds of things. And it doesn't get tons of users, but it gets more than 0. So, but I need to find other ways to get more people, because we're definitely not on pace to get to 1 million. And right now, to get there, it'd have to compound by like 25% per day, every day, until August 6th. And here's the thing. Yeah, well, here's the thing too, is so spending money on marketing, and you can kind of do that, but they basically always said, all the app books I've looked at and ways they talk about it, it says, you don't really spend money on marketing until you have product market fit solved. Otherwise, you're basically just pouring money into a leaking sieve. Although I still think I need more users than that coming in. So it's kind of like solving all of them together. Here's the thing too. Realistically, I don't mind if I don't hit 1 million users. I mean, I do mind if I don't. I don't mind if I don't hit it, as long as I do every single possible thing in my power to get there. And I don't feel like I'm doing that. Like, I want to be like knock down, drag out, like doing everything I can. And so I need to work on that one. And then I have a whole lot of other goals. I've done some of them, like getting a muscle up. I can do that one. I started surfing. I've done that one. I started dancing. That's another one. August 6th of 2025, a year ago. Yeah, well, no, that's probably not true. Yeah. Well, I mean, so here's the thing. Goals are kind of useful a little bit sometimes, but they also are really good. They're really giving, they just set you up. They're giving you a miserable ticket, a miserableness ticket. Because basically this thing about goals is like, you're basically setting a agreement with yourself that you're going to be dissatisfied until you accomplish them. And then once you accomplish them, then you have this vacuum of nothingness, because the purpose you were working for is gone. You know, you have this, And then you just, yeah, you have a dopamine blast or oxy, whatever that chemical is. You have a great blast, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, now what? And then you just have to set more of them. So. Yes, 100. You're good. No, that's 100%. It sets up this dissatisfaction. This is one of the other things, and I'd set up a thing. I figured this out a while ago. This is why the best way that I found it is setting up systems first and foremost, where like a system works good every day forever. Like if you find good things that work, it will always work day in, day out, all the time. But here's the thing, if you only use systems entirely, you'll get bored because it's just the same old thing for forever. And so the idea is, and this was the good part about like with the app is, so Good Day Recipe, it helps you make good systems and you figure out what works well on a day in, day out basis, more or less all of the time. Once you have an idea of how that works, then you can pick some goals basically as a steering mechanism or just to make it interesting, to add some spice. But the idea is if you only just have goals, you're just gonna make yourself miserable. And so it's like, set up good systems that have a good structure for you, and then kind of to get some salt and pepper on it, then you populate in some goals. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's just like, I don't know. And then it kind of, well, at some level, it's like, it kind of sets the thing of like, okay, so how important is this? Yeah. Right. Well, and that's one of the things too that's been interesting about setting up good systems is it's like setting things up for me, basically finding a way, because like I'm not a motivation person. Motivation is not the way I handle anything. And so that's the I'm just not motivated to do anything. Like I don't yeah. The idea of just like do it's like, well, just you just got to make yourself do it. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. I'm just not going to do that. Like I'm just not going to do that. But here's the thing, and this was also the cool thing about the app, what it helps us with is that it basically sets up this like awareness. And all of a sudden, when I have awareness of things where I'm like, oh, this thing gets way better if I do this other thing, then all of a sudden the importance of the thing, I don't need to like be motivated to do the thing anymore. All of a sudden, because I have a new awareness, I want to do XYZ. Or like, for me, it's like, you know, I do make my bed. Like I wake my bed in every morning because I just feel so much better and I've just tracked it over time. Like I've seen how it makes a difference. So now I don't have to feel motivated to make my bed. I want to make my bed because I know how big of an impact it does. Like just factually over time. And then it's like, and then I don't have to be, there's so much of my life where like I don't have to be motivated. I used to, like I just started, I'm 2 weeks now in of, I started making my breakfast. This sounds so embarrassing to say like as an adult. But like I used to always just go to Starbucks every day for breakfast. That's just what I did. And all right, well, it was a little embarrassing, but I just started. So like now it's been about 2 weeks. I make eggs and salsa every morning, and I'll have to change it up, I'm sure, once I get super bored of it. But so far I'm just like trying to get good at that. Yeah. Well, what I used to get from Starbucks is I used to get an iced dirty chai, and then I would get a sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich, and then I'd get a thing of bacon and egg bites. So I'd get that every morning. And the reason I would do that too is because I used to tour a lot, and they have Starbucks basically everywhere, even in other countries. It was like sometimes when everything else is changing, a little bit of consistency really helps the depression thing. So yes, yeah. It's consistent enough. Yeah. Yeah. So you know. But that was the other thing. And also the thing I'd found with Starbucks is even when I was in town is it's like to go to Starbucks, one, I'd have to put on clothes, which is if I'm depressed, that can be harder for me. So it's like I have to leave my apartment, I have to go get sunshine, I have to put on clothes, and I have to interact with another human being. All of those things are good for me. Well, even if I'm not depressed, the idea of like, I don't particularly, yeah, clothes are kind of, it's like, all right, we'll get to those when we get to them. Yeah, but you still have to put on something. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's way easier to just not. But that's, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That's true. This is the thing. Usually when I'm bopping around my place, I usually have like a pair of shorts on. Like generally I have a thing of shorts. But like if I'm like depressed, and so like I do sleep naked. I sleep naked in my bed. I'm always, and so it's like, and if I'm depressed, I am just like, I don't, like I'm usually, I don't get it. Well, I don't get out of bed when things are, yeah. But that's been a few years since I've been on that level. But like, it used to be like when I would be on that level of depression, I could easily just be in bed for 3 days, and I would basically just watch I don't know, like all of the Harry Potters or something, and then all of an entire like 2 different series of TV shows, and I would just like, yeah, yeah. So well, 5. I know how that goes. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing now. Yeah. It's not, that sounds a little bit like depression to me, but I don't know, like maybe little bits, yeah. I don't. I have. But I didn't, I always found that, well, I just had a lot of things. One, I don't like taking, okay, this is gonna sound really dumb. I don't like taking any drugs when someone tells me to take them. If people, I've taken lots of other drugs when no one tells me to take them. But apparently as soon as I'm prescribed, I'm like, okay, so the funniest thing to me about this is when I started using Good Day Recipe, I was just tracking it in notes on my phone. That's how I started it. And so I still have the completion data from like 2017 when I started doing it in 2018. And one of the first things on my list of ingredients for a good day recipe. So, and the first one was, one of the ingredients was take Zoloft. And still the funniest thing to me is when I look back through all of those things, it was marked off as complete 0 times. I couldn't do it. And I definitely did. There was definitely, I think I probably was on it 2 different times for about less than a year. And I think there was another one that I was on. But yeah, I just didn't really, it wasn't for me. Yeah. 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 Vibes. Just gonna say, a lot of people I know that are on SSRIs and different types of medication and have been through. There's like literally a licensed clinician and an ADHD psychologist that both have tried the app and they're like, Justin, this is really useful, and they are passing it with their clients. So it may be, anyway, that's one of the reasons I don't feel like I have to be on medication, is because it has helped give me enough of it's kind of like weave enough of a threshold on, so like, but here's the thing, straight up, in the past week and a half, I've kind of, I've been feeling depressed. Like that is, and not on the level of like I can still go out and do the things, but like I know it comes in cycles for me sometimes, and I'm just like aware of it, and yeah, and that's how it goes. No. Well, I can't. So, and I'll tell you this straight up. So, doing psychedelics can help with my depression if I'm not doing. And so I kind of did a good dose of that. What I had found is that I was just dealing with a lot of sadness, and a lot of things just felt harder for me across different spheres. It wasn't just not just my goal list. There's a lot of things. The relationship that I like lost, that was just hitting like a year ago. Like what would have been our anniversary was on like the 19th. And there's just a lot of things that I was feeling grief about. And I think also just feeling resistance, and feeling lonely. And all those things were kind of hitting. And so, yeah, I kind of just thought, you know what, what I found was going on is I kept trying to like work more and more and do all these different things. And it occurred to me that like, actually, I've been doing all of this stuff so that I can just avoid having to like sit by myself, because I don't want to just sit with myself. And that was kind of actually, I was like, you know what? If I do acid, I'm not going to be able to drive a vehicle because I don't believe in being responsible. And also I don't like being on screens. And so I will just have to sit with myself. And honestly, Justin's pretty okay. I always get squirmy and never want to spend time with him. And at the end of the day, I actually really like that guy a lot. And so maybe we just need to spend a little time together. And so it was kind of nice and kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie. And then even on the marathon, there's a lot of time just with Justin, and some of it was nice and some of it was kind of also sad. It's like, cool, no one gives a shit, Justin. And in all of those things, this is what what I find with life, is that all of the things can be true. Yes. Have you taken improv? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I tried an improv class for the first time either late last year or beginning of this year. I can't remember when. It was scary and fun and nerdy all at the same time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, do you know what's funny is that like a lot of the time once I actually am with myself, it can be kind of okay, but I still always have this like resistance to it. Like up until it happens. It's the same thing with like meditating. Like when I'm meditating, I like meditating. I like connecting with myself and higher power. And I kind of intertwine them a little bit. Like the way I get to higher power is through me. Kind of, I have to like get through myself first. And I really like meditating once I do it. But somehow, it's always a problem to sit down and meditate. It doesn't make any It's always a problem doing it. It's like, why am I so resistant to this when I know how good it is, how enjoyable it is, how much more centered and good I feel. And every time I'm like, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. Really? I think sometimes it's better. And maybe I'm just like well, no, I think I am kind of an odd person, but some things are, if I'm doing that, sometimes I need to be more on my own so I know I have my own space to exist. However, people can kind of freak me out when I'm tripping. Well, if you had Ruby around, like it's like, it's pretty cool. You're okay. Holy cow. Interesting. I think you might still. Well, no, I don't know why I'm going to be like, well, I think this could be different. But yeah, I mean, much there. Yeah, I just think it's like if it's taken in the right way, it can be really, really like I've had some really good spiritual. It's definitely enhanced my understanding of like spirituality, frankly, and myself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can hang with you while you do it sometime. No, I'm serious. I mean, yeah, it's obviously, and you can, it's whatever. But well, because sometimes you do need a safe portal back to the regular universe. Someone that can keep watch. So yeah, who gives a shit? Yeah, that's fine. I've done. I mean, I don't know what you mean by a lot. It depends on what you mean by a lot. I mean, I've definitely done mushrooms multiple times. Yeah. I don't know what the amount I've done. I've definitely done like a good sized baggie before. This is the thing. Mushrooms, I found I feel like with mushrooms, a big thing that happens more often with me is I need to purge, and I don't particularly like purging. But I do there's been some things personally for me on mushrooms where I'm like, the actual tripping experience. Like, I definitely was outdoors once and everything kind of turned into Alice in Wonderland, and it was fantastically beautiful. And I loved that. Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure because I've definitely done microdosing of them and larger doses, and I definitely think there's been good things about both. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, this was a nice little chat. I'm glad you called. You're welcome. Yeah, yeah, no, happy. That was effortless on my part, so happy to help. Okay, that sounds good. You have a good night. I'll see you. Okay, I will. See ya. Okay. We're gonna go back to work on your goal. We're gonna go like this. I actually need to start closing today soon because it's getting late. I don't want to be up all night, but yeah. If any of you have not tried the app, this app is free. It's really useful. It's really good. I've used it for like 8 years now. A lot of other people have used it and find it really useful. It's very cool. If you have things where your brain, if you want a little bit more structure in your life, or if you have a brain that gets easily overwhelmed or feels stressed, or then conversely just feels bored sometimes and like dissatisfied, this app is literally meant to help with exactly that. There's a 6-year-old that uses it. There's a 66-year-old that uses it. There's people in the United States that use it, in Romania and Australia and France and basically all over the world. Yeah. Anyway, it's free. It's there if you want to try it out. Just saying. Okay, I need to go back to finishing this reel so I can get this posted for today. Oh, I know what I was doing here. I wanted to get a picture. Maybe this will work. Oh, that's fine. If we don't have something good in those. That's the one. I don't love any of those. Can you make a Instagram cover photo in 1080 by 1920? So like the full size Instagram cover thing using this photo with the hook that says, "Your brain is the defense." Great, that looks amazing. Save the photos, edits. text. Let's see if this works. Oh.
De ma loge comme devant vous, il y a 15 ans à Saint-Malo, quand certains disaient que la musique ne nourrit pas son homme. Mon père n'est pas grand, mais depuis 15 ans, je bois toujours dans mon cœur.
Okay, let's get this pulled up here. We're gonna close today now, because it's getting later, so it's about that time, I think. Actually, let's do this. Like that. Like that. Okay. Looks like we have 2,000 things. I don't think we technically did that. We did do this. I did enjoy my day. What just happened? Justin. Hi, beautiful. I believe in you. Oh, that's interesting. Looks kind of cool. 11 o'clock. So there's a reason your brain won't leave you alone, and once you know what it is, it's going to kind of change everything. Odds are your brain will always just travel back into the Okay. I don't know why they do this. Oh, okay.
If you've been thinking about getting Pocket, this is your last chance to save 45%.
I don't even know what I just
At the
clicked
tap of
on.
a button.
That frog really tied the room together, did it not?
Hey, this guy peed on it.
Donnie, please.
It was fun coming to work. You know, there's an aspect of acting that's a lot like pretending when you were a kid. You know, like, come on, let's pretend. You know, you this, you be this guy, I'll be this guy, and that's what it was like. It was coming to work every morning and playing with the coolest kids. You know, and you had all the cool outfits. You know, it was fun.
Let's face it, when you're an actor, not every movie is easy to make. We've all heard stories of film productions that were absolute hell for various reasons, whether it involved just continuous issues with special effects, directors going wildly over budget and schedule, or the challenges that can come with working with a major star who may or may not even show up on set, and if they do, they won't stick to any of the dialogue, and they're also severely overweight.
Horror has a face, and you must make a friend of horror.
Very rarely do you ever hear about a movie in which there were virtually no problems, no stress, no inflated egos.
I don't know about you, but I take comfort in that.
Well, sometimes there's a movie. It's the movie for its time and place. Just fits right in there.
Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh?
Start talking and talk fast, you lousy bum.
We've been frantically trying to reach you, dude.
When interviewed, every actor involved with the production of The Big Lebowski has made one thing perfectly clear. It was all very zen.
In an odd sort of way, you're just incredibly relaxed because everything's taken care of all the time.
Working with those guys is a joy. It's a joy.
They know who they want to work with. They know exactly what they want to do. And it makes for a very wonderful atmosphere.
This is how the Coen brothers work in general, and the extent of their preparation helped the actors feel more at ease, and the specificity of the writing and dialogue meant that their characters were so well defined and sharp already that sometimes they didn't even feel the need to dive into some detailed backstory or history.
I never really knew how long they'd known each other or how they met or anything like that. None of that really went into it. For me, anyway, I was having too much fun to do research.
Using several making-of books, featurettes, and interviews, I'd like to shed some light on the acting-directing collaboration of this unique production, how each actor prepared and performed their iconic characters, and, with any luck, maybe we can actually quantify the level of chill vibes that permeated the set.
Far out.
Let's break down the zen-like acting of The Big Lebowski.
Whether it's the costume or different personality. Trades or whatever, I always look into my own kit bag and see what I might have that might apply to the guy.
After the Coen brothers offered Jeff Bridges the role of Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski, a character inspired by a real-life friend of theirs, Bridges was struck by some of the similarities to himself, at least when he was younger.
And then I got the script and I said, wow, you guys must have been spying on me in some of my high school days or something. This is wonderful. It's nothing like I've ever played before. I don't know why you got me in mind. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
It's important to remember that at this point in his career, Bridges was a credible leading man in dramas and romances. He had 3 Oscar nominations already for The Last Picture Show, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, and Starman, and had some other fantastic performances in dramas like The Fabulous Baker Boys and The Fisher King. He wasn't really known for comedies, so why did he want to do this film, an absurd send-up of classic noirs with an inept, freewheeling stoner protagonist at the helm?
Do I make myself clear?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Ow! You fascist!
Well, oddly enough, he did identify with the character. After all, he lived through the 60s, and judging from his comments, man, he seems to have at the very least dabbled in the occasional substance.
Were you a drug guy in the 60s?
Oh, yeah.
Did your share of acid?
Yeah, did all of that stuff.
Bridges admits that the role was, quote, mostly just me. I drew on myself a lot from back in the 60s and 70s. I lived in a little place like that and did drugs, although I think I was a little more creative than the dude. But he wisely decided to not smoke any of the devil's lettuce during the shoot.
I'll burn some herb occasionally, but for that film, I decided this is such a wonderful script and quite detailed. No, I do mind. The dude minds. This will not stand, This aggression will not stand, man.
And that's common with the Coen brothers, by the way. We cover this in our No Country for Old Men video. They like actors to stick to the script, more or less.
Well, it seems very improvisational. That's all scripted, and it was all done, exactly. You add an extra man in a spot, didn't quite feel right, so I really wanted to have all my wits about me, and I didn't burn it all during that movie.
But there was plenty of room to explore with improv during rehearsal sessions that the Coen brothers set aside before shooting.
And so sometimes to discover the
I forgot to add that in. Whoa, loud. Eat good things. That's interesting. Is there anything else we did on here? Got a position reel. See, what do we got going on here? Why is this not? Okay. Why do they keep restricting that? It's very weird. Very, very weird. Whatever. Okay. One word to describe today. Come on, Justin. How do I want to say this? I was able to make it to the salsa class. What's another good one? Alright, I think that's it for today. Thanks for hanging with me.